weakness, and then a 5 can come in and really offset that laning matchup.
I don't think Gambit will show their last core though here. I think they're most likely picking a support.
That's true.
I think Puck, in theory, is like decent versus the Midwinter Wyvern, just because how I think Midwinter Wyvern should function is like he has an egg in him scepter, he's sort of flying in the trees, and heroes that catch him should be good versus him. But if he wins the lane, like the problem with Midwinter Wyvern is generally the lane. You cannot get out of the lane because you have low base damage, your nuke is like awkward to use.
And they do end up picking a support. Not very many stuns on the side of Gambit. Pretty much all comes in the form of ultimates. Tundra maybe figuring out how much longer can we hide what this Wyvern is.
I like the
This is the pick.
I like the Enchantress pick because if you have superior team fight like Tidehunter or Phoenix, you need something in order to force at towers. Otherwise, the enemy team is just going to run away from you.
Yeah.
Okay, isn't this like literally what they picked against Liquid when they made the Wyvern a mid?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Dusa is a good pick versus both Enchantress and Tidehunter though, I think. Enchantress doesn't really touch you, you know, you're a right clicker, she has Stone Gaze, she can hit other targets, just split shot you to death. And the lane is very stable versus Tidehunter. You don't really have kill threat and you can harass him with Snake.
I guess the key thing is why Tundra likes playing the Midas
5
Medusa,
seconds
is when they're picking
remaining.
it with this Wyvern Grimstroke style of be it core supports, whatever. It's like they all have wave clear
Dire
themselves.
team
So Medusa
back.
can farm in that tri-camp behind, and then DK parks in front of the tower. You know, this double wave clear, you're going to be pretty good. Gambit.
Ten seconds remaining.
Time for more elimination. Last one of the
seconds
day
remaining.
on this stream, but another one is going on the B stream if you're curious. Right now it's
Radiant
Unique
team
versus
back.
Viking GG, and here
Dire
it's going to be
team
Tundra versus ASMONACO GAMBIT. And 2 eliminations have already happened. You just saw earlier on this stream, Nigma take down Team Secret, and also on the B stream, OG just 2-0'd Team Liquid. Now it was a Team Liquid that yet again also did not have Mickey for another day. It was Illidan standing
10
in for them as a carry. So
seconds
this time they had a carry player, but still, I mean, this is OG that we're talking about. You can't just
5
roll up with
seconds
any
remaining.
random sub and expect it to work out. So 2 eliminations already done. Secret
Radiant
and
team
Liquid
back.
gone, and now we need to figure out
Dire
which of these
team
teams will remain, ASMONACO GAMBIT or Tundra. I'm leaning Tundra, even though Gambit actually showed up to the major. I feel like Tundra have more energy, I suppose. Gambit, I think, are just trying to figure out what their team chemistry is with all these roster swaps.
Yeah, I think Tundra, of course,
10
coming into this
seconds remaining.
tournament, they've looked pretty well polished, and even though they are now lower bracket,
5
they still
seconds
had pretty
remaining.
good showings so far. They even put out a Midwinter Wyvern the
heard
other day.
Radiant
They've
team
already been out of the box a bit, a little bit more creative. So I'm excited to see what Tundra can bring.
First thing they're going to bring out is indeed that Winter Wyvern. Now, no guarantees if it's going to be mid, but yeah, they did indeed play mid-Winter Wyvern on day 1 of this tournament.
I think it was first 2 when they played it mid as well.
Yeah,
I think
because
it's pretty good for
10
first pick because you can
seconds
flex
remaining.
as support or core. From first pick, you get to see on your own 4th pick, you
5
sort of get to see both
seconds
sidelines of the enemy. So you can decide whether you want to make this hero a core or not.
Yeah, the key thing, I guess, for Tundra's approach of playing the Wyvern, it was a Witchblade build into Aghanims with the Orchid. The idea is of just layering the percentage burn, just kind of just Arctic burn.
Perma-slowing.
Yeah, an abundance of just coming out, and then of course you have the curse with the Orchid, so then you can start solo killing people. We saw that as well, I believe, is it Jin Q at the major, where he played a Witchblade Shadowblade style Wyvern from 4, where he like plays in the tree line constantly, has that high ground kind of Tinker Ward, and he's just executing whoever split pushing. So I can see the idea behind it, but of course it was against Liquid that was using Insania on the carry and a Milan standing in for position 4.
I actually watched a
10
pub where
seconds
9
remaining.
played mid Winter Wyvern against Thompson's Puck. And he won that lane
5
really hard.
seconds
As soon as he got
remaining.
level 6, he solo killed him just because range heroes just die instantly to 4 creeps and
Dire
Winter's Curse.
team banned.
And what the go-to build is like 1 point in Splinter Blast, or do you max out
For
Splinter
mid?
Blast? Yeah, for
I
mid.
think you max it. You
Oh,
need
okay.
to clear creeps and farm.
Yeah, exactly. And now Tundra, they go for the DK themselves. Like, both of these teams in ESL Summer so far have heavily lent on DK, pretty much. And yeah, okay, it's coming back.
10
DK
seconds
is good versus Puck.
remaining.
There is a lot of magical damage coming out for Gambit.
Yeah.
Which
5
at
seconds
the I think at the
remaining.
major, that's what teams sort of picked up on. They would pick these high magical damage heroes like Phoenix, or heroes that like you can't fight into area like Undying, which is also Phoenix because he has an egg.
Yeah.
And DK looked a little bit worse at the end of that tournament.
Yeah, I guess the main thing here is you have the DK into Puck matchup, you have that ability for that instant stun. Also, kind of Phoenix as well. It's like if you do have instant stun into layered stun and remove egg from the game, that can also be very underrated. Like for sure, Phoenix loves playing into kind of bigger team fights because he can just tank a lot of spells and get egg off. But if you have these cleaner stuns to layer in, it can be very disruptive.
Yeah, for sure. It also gives you just a nice cooldown-based target, as DK is a very high HP pool hero. You can bait a lot of stuff with that.
Anything else exotic that they went for in that Liquid series? It seems mostly pretty straightforward.
Medusa.
Yeah,
They did Medusa. It looked really good.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, the Medusa game was pretty interesting just for the fact that it was a new development to Medusa. Because, of course, when the patch came out and moved the talents around and kind of delayed the timing of Aghanim's, you now have, for example, Skidder in this game at least, he went for the Midas to accelerate that level, still going for Manta, going for the Ags, and then suddenly he was level 20 with all these items at 4 or 5 minutes earlier than what other kind of Medusa players were getting at the current patch.
Yeah, it just makes sense. If you need level 20 instead of level 15, Midas is the best item for your experience. Also, Medusa is sort of a slow moving hero, so you can't like run across the map and kill creep waves. It's better to be like more static, defend the area, and just you only get farm from this small area. Therefore, Midas actually gives you more farm.
To be very clear though, that is your team has to be accepting of the Midas. Do not go to your pubs and start buying Midas.
I think you should buy Midas on Dusa. You're already picking Dusa and ruining the game.
It's kind of like an anti-mage pick as well, right? So, yeah.
I think anti-mage just should buy Midas too. Like some Ring of Health into Midas. You're useless for 25 minutes anyways.
I just have flashbacks to when Brian, played an unranked game with him, and he went Midas bots on Terrorblade, and just I know, but he kept saying it's good, and then he finished like some Jenkins scoreline of like 116 or something. Yeah, it was, and that's why I have kind of these bad look at the Midas and bots, but alas, that won't be happening here.
Hopefully not. They ban out the Snapfire, one of the primary egg hitters, and also something that Tundra did pick against Liquid in their series. And Tundra will ban out the Mars to return the favor. Oh, you want to stop me from killing the egg? Well, I'm going to stop you from protecting the egg.
Right now, I'd like to see Tundra pick a bit more damage on the other support. I think you already have the Technician DK, you have a little bit of team fight from Wyvern, but there's no sort of team fight. You want some bursts.
How about some Lion? Good answer for the Puck.
Normally when they picked up the Wyvern, they've layered it with kind of this bigger burst damage that I'm mentioning it. Like the AA plus Alina, where you kind of you throw everything onto that one target, you blow them up and you kill them. So I'm hoping to see some type of burst damage come in, like Awi just mentioned.
Yeah, I can see a Lion working. I think Tundra often defaults into DPC to Lion as a 4. So it's possible.
Yeah, it was making second most played hero.
Yeah, I'd like to see a bit more consistent damage. I feel like Lion, you're like, when you pick Lion in a lineup like this, it feels like Lion has to be in all the moves, but you can only make moves when he has Finger. So all of a sudden you have like this 160-second cooldown where you can't do anything in between.
Yeah, most of Snake King's heroes are kind of cut from that same cloth, though. Unless they end up playing the Wyvern as a 4 and they need to look for a Fata hero instead. But also Fata's heroes don't really do much burst. It may have to come from the mid lane.
Second phase, respect Broodband, because of course 33 you can never forget, and then Gambit. And they politely take away the Tidehunter from Tundra. I don't know if you saw in the kind of the interview the percentage win rate of the Tidehunter on Tundra. It was like 88% or something.
Yeah, I think it's 8 to 1.
Yeah, that's
pretty high.
And they flex it. Generally, they give it to 33, but there was that one game where they gave it to Snake King, and it worked out quite well.
Currently, though, I'm saying from Gambit, it's cooldown on cooldown on cooldown. Like, it's a lot of big team fight, but they don't move around the map that quickly. It's all emphasis on Puck right now to be the one kind of connecting with the heroes to kind of get that team fight execution going.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how this will go, because I think at the Animator, the super high cooldowns didn't fare that well in the end.
Yeah.
Like, you just weren't able to scrape together the resources to force the enemy team into that deciding team fight, and they sort of just played the map.
Tundra, let's see. Reserve time ticking.
Only 30 seconds left?
Yeah, I know, right? Timbersaw is already banned out if they wanted an offlaner option. I'm with you. I think they should get burst damage, and I still feel like Lion's pretty good here.
I think maybe 2 squishy range supports versus Tidehunter might have changed a little bit. It's a little bit committal.
Okay,
I like that a bit more. I mean, it's still 2 range squishy supports, but how you cast your spells is a lot less committal than
these were the 3 of the same heroes against Liquid as well. The Wyvern, the DK, and the Grimstroke was the...
I wonder if this will be Midwinter War.
Yeah, exactly. That's what maybe I'm thinking here. It's the idea that they see one more hero, then they pick up that 5, so the 5 is able to win the lane. You just casually put Wyvern mid just because Tundra's comfortable on it. I can see that. If Gambit picks a call that's somewhat telling, like a call that's susceptible to a certain weakness, and then a 5 can come in and really offset that laning matchup.
I don't think Gambit will show their last core though here. I think they're most likely picking a support.
That's true.
I think Puck, in theory, is like decent versus the Midwinter Wyvern, just because how I think Midwinter Wyvern should function is like he has the Aghanim Scepter, he's sort of flying in the trees, and heroes like Cashem should be good versus him. But if he wins the lane, like the problem with Midwinter Wyvern is generally the lane. You cannot get out of the lane because you have low base damage. Your nuke is like awkward to use.
They do end up picking a support. Not very many stuns on the side of Gambit. Very much all comes in the form of ultimates.
Remaining.
Tundra maybe figuring out
5
how much
seconds
longer can we
remaining.
hide what this Wyvern is.
I like the
This is the pick.
I like the Enchantress
Dire
pick
team
because
back.
if you have superior team fight like Tidehunter Phoenix, you need something in order to force at towers. Otherwise, the enemy team is just going to run away from you.
Yeah.
Okay, isn't this like literally what they picked against Liquid when they made the Wyvern a mid?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Dusa is a good pick versus both Enchantress and Tidehunter, though, I think. Enchantress doesn't really
10
touch you, you know,
seconds
you're a
remaining.
right clicker, she has Stone Gaze, she can hit other targets, just split shot you to death. And the lane is
5
very stable
seconds
versus
remaining
Tidehunter. You don't
to
really have kill
back.
threat, and you can harass him with Snake.
I guess the key thing is why Tundra likes playing the Midas Medusa is when they're picking it with this Wyvern Grimstroke style of be it core supports, whatever. It's like they all have wave clearing themselves. So Medusa can farm in that tri-camp behind, and then DK parks in front of the tower. You know, this double wave clear, you're going to have to be pretty good. Gambit, they don't really have tower damage, so Puck's the kind of the lane pusher. Enchantress is currently your main source of tower damage with that creep, plus maybe a catapult wave. So I can see why Tundra is happy to play
10
this
seconds
Midas style of
remaining.
Medusa in this type of game.
Yeah, based on this Dusa pick, I actually feel like Gambit,
5
they need a
seconds remaining.
1v5 carry right now. They have some damage on Phoenix, but because Sunray's sort of like percent damage, it doesn't actually do as well versus Dusa, because a lot of her tankiness comes from a mana shield rather than just a big HP pool.
And like a good carry right now for Gambit could be like an Ursa with the Diffusal, you play for pace, but because of the Wyvern, and then you have the Curse, the Cold Embrace start, like that could be enough to, you know, just sway the desire for that.
Yeah, I think same for Slark.
Like,
I think in the SCA region, teams picked Ursa and Slark to defeat this Medusa when it's more popular, but it's a little bit all in.
Ban of
10
the TB at
seconds
least, just from the
remaining.
major, because EG, when our TZ played Terrorblade, he sometimes went for the Diffusal Blade.
5
So the idea of
seconds
respecting the change of itemization to then deal with their Medusa pick. But it still leaves, you know, Ursa and kind of these other Diffusal Blade buyers still in the pool. Like there's still like a casual, you know, like a PL, right?
I don't think PL's good versus Dusa. I think
You don't?
it's,
Okay.
it's like 50-50, but I think if you go Midas and Dusa, like, because it's a weird matchup, because Dusa wins early. I think she's slightly outfarms PL. PL has this like long timing with Diffusal. But as soon as you get 25 on Dusa, if you have like Mjolnir plus any lifesteal, PL can't play any
I
fight.
guess you're not running into the jungle as a PL. You're playing into your own jungle.
I mean,
You
you
need a
can,
PL that
like,
does that, right?
More of the like C-deck aggressive style PL. Like I think Sumail plays that style of PL as well.
Okay.
But you are on a timer versus Dusa, which most people don't realize.
Well, this is Tundra. They got 25 seconds.
10
They're gonna either put the
seconds remaining.
wave or just pick up a casual farter off lane, where like
5
Their
seconds
last hero
remaining.
previously was the Undying.
Undying, exactly. But if they pick Undying, it's like Ench just plays with the tide in the off
Radiant
lane.
team
Undying just gets gushed into right clicks and they don't have that much fun. And they go for the Razor.
Gonna be a support Wyvern then.
Okay.
Now Gambit may need to mix things up. It seems like they weren't too sure themselves. They banned out the Doom, they banned out the Mirana, so checking a couple of boxes, and now they need to figure out, are they going to go for a 5v1 carry?
10
There's
seconds
Spectre still available in the pool. I don't know how you feel about Arc Warden these days
seconds
versus a Medusa.
remaining.
Tundra have 5 wave clear spells on each of their heroes, so
They're gonna be playing quite quick.
yes.
I hope so. I hope like Medusa buys one item and just starts playing with the team.
I don't think that's going to happen this game, though.
Or he's
I
playing
think they're
behind the
farming
team.
up. Yeah.
Playing behind the team, able to join if needed. There you go.
Probably, yeah. I think they should look, if you have so many wave clear spells, you should look to sort of spam them out of your towers by time, and Dusa can choose when to TPN.
Okay. So for Gambit, they still need to have, you know, their
What
win
is the
condition.
hard carries left? Because I feel like you need a hard carry. I mean, you can all in here, but I don't think it'll work for so much wave spam.
Like they can't go for like a troll because of course the Raze is
Yeah.
there. You don't also don't play into
Medusa, it's
Medusa.
hard.
There's
Like
Faceless Void, but then you're even more cooldown dependent.
yeah. Like all of the kind of the melee dudes are kind of double counted now.
You may
And
now
they
select
do go
your
for the Arc Warden.
heroes.
Well. Well.
Arc Warden's a hero that's so susceptible to being just completely run over, and I guess that's where Gambit is leaning on the Tidehunter and the Puck as like kind of the kings of counter aggression. But if they waste these spells, then that's where kind of Tundra will just ramp up that kind of forward play.
I would be uncomfortable playing against Tundra's lineup without some sort of late game scale.
Yeah.
I'm really afraid for this Arc Warden. I don't know how well he's going to fare against this Razor. I feel like if Razor runs at him with BKB, there's actually not much to protect him.
No, exactly.
Moreover, if he summons a clone and Winter Wyvern curses him, like, that's bad news.
The real question here is how many times are we going to see, you know, Snaking and Fada sync up their spells, but we have the double Wyvern curse where 0 damage is taken.
Yeah, that one's not good.
Do you think we're going to see that at least once? How many times in this game?
I'll
guys?
bet we'll see that once.
Once, Tsunami? How many?
0.
0 times. Flawless game between the support. Yeah? Okay.
I didn't say they're gonna win. I'm just saying that that's not gonna happen because I'm. What are the odds that Medusa gets a Midas this game? Is that game losing if she does that?
It's 100%.
No, I think it's 100%.
Really? Even
like,
against an Arc Warden?
I think it's the best item.
Yeah, it's like Arc Warden naturally will go for. We've seen in the major they go Maelstrom first, into the Midas, then bots. It's like 3 farming items.
How about a Diffusal this game though? No.
And you can try to play Temple with Arc Warden. It's not a bad idea, I think, but
yeah,
it's very risky.
I'd rather just
if
both
you want
carries.
to play Temple, don't you just pick a different hero?
Yeah, I'd rather both carries just go for a little bit more greed and then put the might of both teams' execution in the big team fight. You know, farm for 20, then go for the big engagement.
That's the most hype turn of events, and I guess with all the team fight ultimates on the side of Gambit, they would probably prefer that situation because, like you said, they don't have much wave clear. They kind of need this game to progress past 35 minutes or so.
Yeah, in the essence of they need Arc Warden to get to his items and then to take that critical fight, get Aegis, and then be ready. I think they need to look to take engagements pre-BKB. If BKBs come out, like Aoi said, where Razor has this and can lock onto the Arc Warden, their kind of damage mitigation, their team fight type spells are kind of useless. So it's all about that critical first Roshan kind of point. Carl loves those. I'm sure Carl would love to talk about it as well.
Sure, we can ask him about it because we're going to send it over to our casters, Capitalist and Kyle.
Thank you, Tsunami. I have to say, I am terribly disappointed. I was really hoping we were going to be able to see the core Winter Wyvern again. I've been a big fan of it ever since Ice was running it in the off lane, but not here. Tundra give us the swerve, and they go ahead and pick up the Razor, which is probably for the best, Kyle. I mean, this looks like a pretty decent Razor game to me. Good hero to run over an Arc Warden as well.
We'll see. We'll see. I actually love Core Wyvern. I got owned by it a couple times yesterday. Just the new ulti where you're able to deal damage throughout means that at a certain point you just start soloing heroes. But either way, Grimstroke plus Wyvern's a cool support duo because you always have the potential for the double curse. I'm not actually sure how that interacts.
Yeah, that isn't good.
That isn't good.
It's good.
That's a good point.
It's good if you're Core Wyvern because Core Wyvern can put damage in to those heroes. So, but if you're support Wyvern, all it means is you're getting a double Splinter's Blast.
That's a very good point. I take back everything that I said. I've been doing a lot of research on this new Gambit roster. I'm a big fan. Lorenoff is like, I think, the prototype for what you want in a mid player nowadays. 18. Almost like 8K in prize winnings, 11,000 plus MMR, and hungry. And a big fan as well of Iron, as a VP prodigy used to be, was playing with the current VP roster, so he was moved away for Kingslayer. But just a big fan of the squad. I like the draft too. Lots of team fight, and I'm a big believer in Arc Warden.
You know I like how you say turn, but what you mean by that is basically undiscovered. The fact that they aren't playing with a major tier 1 team, just you're trying to find that hidden gem.
Yeah, you gotta exactly. This we're looking at this like, oh, it's just a casual summer event. There's $400,000 on the line. I've played. I won a couple world championships in Han. It was like a fourth of this prize pool. You know, like I guarantee Lorenoff's gonna be tryharding. If he took a nasty link mid.
Good old back in my day Kyle showing up again. You know what's funny is that undiscovered gem, I think, is a good way to describe Lorenoff across, like from an international perspective. But I did actually have a conversation with FNG at the Animator, and he told me that he thinks Lorenoff is like, he's the next thing. He's the next big thing coming out of Eastern Europe. He thinks this guy is really legit.
I think so too. I've been watching a couple of his replays, partly because I'm trying to go professional as a mid player again, but also just to get some insight. Yes. It's a long road to 10K, but I have faith. Let's move on to the Lorenoff Cap. I know you want to ask questions there, but I'm a big fan of the guy. I think this team has a lot of potential, and I think many of the fans may write them off. The two biggest names have departed, No One and Seneko. I like that though. I think especially with TI coming up, this is the sort of squad that I would push as like a dark horse because they're not going to be looked at as thoroughly as teams like Na'Vi. So I'm just saying, watch out. I think if they can actually pull off this Arc Warden, that'll be very fearsome. It's excellent with all this team fight, in my view.
Nothing stands in my way.
Yeah, I mean, we heard from the panel, and I would probably agree. I think most people, most viewers would also agree with the fact that even though ASMONACO Gambit did go to the major, obviously with a different lineup and stuff, they are not the favorites for this matchup against Tundra. Tundra, even though they didn't get to qualify to the major, have shown that they have been consistently strong within Western Europe and have managed to take on some of the better teams. So
wait a second. Why you're saying that Tundra are favored in this matchup? Why do you say that?
Well,
they're from Western Europe, Cap. That's one of the weakest regions.
That is true. I'll give you that one. Eastern Europe, meanwhile, Team Spirit managed to get top 8. Hell yeah. Go Team
exactly. VP ran into some tough teams.
Yes, they ran into some tough teams the last major too. Unfortunate. All right, so you always say you're a big believer in Arc Warden. Are you a big believer in Arc Warden this game?
That's the question. So I'm not really sure. The relationship with Wyvern is the one that interests me because if you catch him out with a Flux, a clone spawn, the Wyvern just dies to Wraiths, and Cold Embrace doesn't function as well against Arc Warden as it does traditional hard carries because you have such a wide array of magical damage you can output as well.
Sure.
But at the same time, is Razor DK going to be able to just get on top of the Arc Warden? We'll see. I think that they have enough team fight to protect him, and Dream theoretically should be able to be more of a split pusher, only joining when he's significantly ahead in the network.
But of course, we're looking at the big picture of this game because, to be honest, I'm not expecting an early kill out of these lanes. I mean, DK Grimstroke, but they're up against a ranged core, so unlikely that they're going to be killing Dream anytime soon. Our mid lane matchup is one of those that Razor isn't Razor favored against Puck. I know Puck has options to get away and break the static link, but you should still be winning in CM.
I think it's definitely better than most heroes. Like Razor, I think is slightly favored, but to your point, he's never killing Puck, and especially with all the rune control, I think that's where Puck thrives because it's pretty easy for you to control both bounties if you really want to, potentially even both runes.
And I said that because I thought, I glanced at the CS board, and I thought 9 was behind. But the truth is, 9 just has a shit ton of denies. He's got 10 denies over Lorinoff. So this man is really focused on limiting the Puck's farm.
I was just checking in with the chat to make sure my mic was fine. It's the same one, but I did make some alterations, notably putting my face about 6 inches from it instead of 2 feet. I didn't realize that would make such a difference.
I swear to God, Kyle, this is your job. How do you not know these things?
I have not
Proximity
been working
to the
remote.
microphone might be important.
I didn't realize. I thought, if it was a quiet room, it wouldn't be that big of a difference. But I've learned my lesson. Okay, I got a talking to on Twitter. I had people DMing me. I had JJ make a thread. We're getting there. All right, I'm learning.
Oh man, you got to get used to this. This is the age of remote broadcasting,
It's okay. I got the whole setup. You just wait, Cap. I'm gonna have colorful lights and a green screen.
Oh, you
and I'm gonna
RGB.
Oh yeah, a disco ball
RGBs.
of RGBs. It's the newest thing.
All right. Yes, thank you. Helping out Kyle. The Enchanters kind of running around with this creep. Lorinoff once again gonna make the runaway from 9. Again, just no kill opportunities, but in general, Tundra is walking away, I think, with well, not even that big of a lead.
It's an even game.
It is a very even game match.
It's completely even. I think depends. Who do you view as the late game threat here? I think it's a toss up, but I probably lean Gambit just because of the superior team fight.
Yeah, I think Gambit as well. I think Tundra, especially since I've watched Medusas lose so many late game scenarios, I feel like this hero is strongest when you hit that really good 30-35 minute timer. And against an Arc Warden, and as you say, the big team fight of ASMONACO Gambit, then think that's what you're going to be shooting for. You're going to shoot for going high ground around 30, 35. Oh, this could be first blood. Ein does indeed go down. 33 picks up that kill. I wasn't sure if it was going to be enough between a Dragonite's limited damage and an Inkswell, but...
Did you see Dream went Mithril Hammer first item? Have you ever seen that before?
Yeah. That is
into a DK, right?
Yeah. Why not the Javelin?
Exactly, because it's cheaper as well. Like, it's so much gold to save. 1,600 gold was his first money spent in this entire game. Like, starting items, that is crazy.
Okay, counterpoint though, it now means that he is higher base damage, making him to drop in onto the Razor. He's immediately dead, and not much that Fana can do about that.
And that's going to be the big edge for ASMONACO GAMBIT here, because their puck is basically a guaranteed kill every coil. And on the side of Tundra, you don't really have that answer. Oh, nice.
Still hunting. Lorinov with his double damage should be able to find the kill. And with Fada, one by one, the supports are TPing in, trying to save this mid tower from both the DD puck as well as the Siege Wagon. And of course, it will stay alive, but the damage has kind of already been done.
Yeah. You take those, though. You got what you came for.
Yeah.
And you were saying just basically that he can last it better on the tower, right?
Yeah, he's up against a Dragonite who does that damage reduction. He has relatively high base damage as well. So he's saying this is going to be a chill-ass game, boy, and I'm just going to be hitting CS all the time. That's my only focus.
Yeah, look at what he's queued up. He's going to finish the Maelstrom at 7.5, and he's just going to go Midas right after. You talk about chill games. I mean, he has a good read, I think.
There you go.
Fighting down. Ein does manage to enchant Dispel off the Inkswell, so 9 does not manage to run him down very far. Now the coil. This is going to be a disaster for Tundra. ASMONACO GAMBIT should be able to sweep up both of these kills as Lorinov continues to just set the pace of this game.
I didn't listen to the panel at the end of that series. Were they EU biased?
I would say that they thought this was relatively draft-wise.
Okay, we'll see.
They did favor Tundra over.
Yeah, noobs. What are you gonna do? Jenkins, don't listen to them. Don't let them corrupt you and your perfect NA insight. But the thing is that this Lorinov.
See, I'm disappointed in Robson. You know, like these other guys, they didn't cover Eastern Europe like we did. You know, but
true.
Robson,
I'll tell you,
Robson.
Lorinov is the real deal, and I don't like. You actually can't deal with puck as Tundra. You'll have answers once you have Blink on DK, and you can even see like if he recognizes this. So he just went for an Urn, and now he's rushing it. Also see a lot of these offliners picking up Urn. I don't know how much of a fan I am, especially on a hero like DK, but we'll see how it plays out. Trouble is, like, they have no catch, absolutely zero catch. Razor as a last pick with the Deuce of Core isn't bad, but you kind of have to be ahead. Also surprised 9 went for this 3-point Link build, but who's he linking? You know, you don't really play with Link in mid against Puck at this stage, and the lack of max plasma field is going to really hurt his ability to accelerate and farm stacks in jungle. Just a bit of a weird decision making.
You don't think that Winner's Curse into Grimstroke Silence or potentially catching the puck with Soulbind, like, you don't think that we already have a DK, and then the supports do have some option. Well, you don't think that's enough?
No, I don't mean to kill Puck. I mean to, like, kill things in general. Like, they don't have a natural move maker, and that's what's missing. They're going to have 3-3, pop ult, and start hitting tower in a couple minutes. He actually finished phase boots. I have not seen those on a DK. I guess just to run away from the flux. I'm having difficulty seeing why.
Well, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe he wants the extra bit of boost of movement speed to get on top of the arc.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, true.
But yeah, I'm not even sure if he can really hit that tower, right? Like, Dragonites usually operate by being able to poke at towers, but that's what Arc Warden is really good against.
Who knows, man? It's just, I mean, Skeeter's buying a Midas. It's like, we watched so much Dota at the Major. Come back yesterday. OG just absolutely destroyed. We're back here. And what do we see? Both carries buying a Midas, farming the triangle. God, I missed this. This is the Dota that I pay to watch.
You are being incredibly sarcastic right now, aren't you, Kyle?
This is the macro
I know
game,
you
okay?
hate Dusa a lot, and Arc Warden is basically Dusa as an illusion hero. That being said, it does. This is something we have seen before, right? Hand of Midas in some ways does make sense, just because the if you go Aghanim Scepter, you need that level 20 as fast as possible.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know, man. I don't want to
You're
talk
very
about
non-committal today, aren't you?
I can't. I'm trying to be kind, unbiased analyst, and I have some very
Do you
strong.
think we were too mean yesterday, the OG?
Radiant
Why?
are
You're trying to be a
Well,
nicer person.
their fans were very mean to me, Captain. Thankfully, their team won't be in the tournament for much longer. But you know, it made me reconsider some things. So I'll, for the record, state I'm very against the Buying Midas. We'll see how things play out. Smoke gank.
They're going to be able to jump on but no real answer. Oh, jeez. I didn't think the Ravage was actually going to come out here, but I guess they blow all the ultimates. They're going to try and steal this stack as quick as possible. Skeeter actually putting himself forward here. He's going to stone gaze forward with Ace while stunning up the two of them. Silence as well. Can they actually be able to burst down these heroes? They can. Ornoff gets rended by the Phantom and now goes back out, this time on the Fine 33. Going to chase after these heroes, but unfortunately the Untouchable makes things a little bit rough for him, so it's going to take a long time to get this kill. Meanwhile, Stinky does actually die to Afterlife.
What?
He just got slapped to death.
Good lord. His anchor smashed him to death. I dig it though. Early phase boots just kept up with him. Nice movement there. I mean, that whole fight, the only reason they get anything on the side of Tundra is a great soulbind. Got to be a little more cautious on Lorinov. That's, as you said, pretty much the one thing that kills him. But taking this mid tower is huge. Very comfortable damage. Their next move should be to heal. And we'll see this. They just overcommit. Snake King's like, hey, what's up? That's a soulbind. And Skeeter, really nice job, just kind of standing his ground. Has faith in his teammates, and the Inkswell proc is enough to secure that kill. But yeah, I'm just with the 1 point passive ultimate. It's pretty much unkillable.
Yeah, you don't usually see Medusas be that fearless when they're out of mana, but Skeeter accepts the helping hand of Snake King and does help them manage to get at least that kill onto the Puck, which is one. Still, though, big problem. Arc Warden wasn't part of that fight. Dream has since finished up his Hand of Midas, has been farming up like a machine. We'll soon have Boots of Travel. And I don't even think, like, I was surprised by the Ravage drop, but to be honest, can Tundra take advantage of this timing where there's a bunch of cooldowns? Like, I don't think so, because their lineup just can't really hit towers very well against Arc Warden.
Exactly, and you can see the way they organize. Okay, on top lane, .9.
They're gonna try. 9 sticking around, trying to deal with the flux as fast as possible. The Sunrays burn him out though, and they very easily do manage to get that kill. A single target hero against an Arc Warden, and it goes to show the downfall of the Static Link in this situation. The other Arc Warden clone just killed him.
I'd really like to see someone on Gambit pick up a Veil of Discord. Very effective in a game like this. They have just such an absolute mass amount of spell damage. Really benefits their Puck specifically. And yeah, so Tundra are itemizing for the late game, the Midas, the Phosphorus on 9. But the thing is, they need BKBs too. If you don't get a BKB, you actually can't fight. Afterlife, I love this. He just went Hood, so he's not a target for his enemies. And now he's going to buy a Blink Dagger. And their strat is going to be wait for cooldowns as they have them up now. Egg Ravage ready, Foil as well. And they're just going to run and kill whoever the hell they want.
See them go into the triangle again. This time around, they're going to be running into 33's Dragon Knights. It's going to be a bit harder hero to kill, but they still have plenty of damage thanks to the fact that Phoenix, who does feel like it's fully back in the meta once again due to the success of LGD picking this hero. It's always good to be able to see that percentage-based damage burn against these tankier heroes.
And now they're going to just rinse, repeat. All right, everybody to the jungle. They still have Ravage, but I don't think that they feel too pressured. And this kind of goes back to the Deuce of Midas, Cap, because Arc Warden is pretty much your counter. can play just as greedy, but with less risk and scales better, pushes lanes better, is geared to beat you.
Come on, sprites!
So you're playing the slow passive game against the hero that was basically only works in a slow passive game.
Well, we're going to see them pick up the Blink Dagger on 33, so maybe that's when they can finally start getting a little bit more active and try and take advantage of whenever these cooldowns are used. Other than that, I mean, they've got a bot's Razor, so it's not like he's got a real good combat item right now. It's going to work towards a BKB, but that's going to be a while. I don't think they can really wait for that to make moves. Nice deny there on the ward.
And yeah, Tundra, they're pretty comfortable on their side of the map. As Iron is going to press bottom. There's a little danger here. There's already a Midas up on Skeeter. Or, sorry, a man. So he's definitely keeping up.
Denied.
Just, I'm waiting to see. I mean, they have the blink on 3-3. So now Tundra, 17 minutes in, they can finally look to get aggressive. But I don't know if they want to be here. Afterlife, he's on the way.
Chainstone up this Phoenix. Can they get off the sound to make sure? Actually, just the Chainstone is good enough. They don't need the Phantom. Still, the Hitter has taken a lot of damage. Gets off the Stone Gaze just before the Ravage. That means the two ranged heroes can't really go on a Skeeter any longer. And, oh, geez. Afterlife is in deep now. 33 minutes into the next one. You're tipping in. Dream. Oh, no. This was an ambitious TP. And by ambitious, I mean dumb as hell. That was not the place to be right there. Soul binded to his own clone. Now he's two cores hanging out to dry here. Afterlife is going to try and chase down 33 as best he can. But 9 is free reign of this team fight. They managed to run down Lornoff. Now they're going to go. They have a stun. No Dragon Tail, so Afterlife will manage to TP out. But that felt like Dream just threw away that a bit of this game. They were doing really
Radiant's
well.
middle tower is under attack.
Don't mind if I do.
What was that?
Where did he he TP's right into their tier 1.
Like, yeah, and then they're just like, oh, hey, that's the Arc Warden. We know for sure because he just slammed his clone in front of us. Like, if you're going to make this move, like, they're so strong. All they have to do is fight his 5, Cap. You know, Afterlife, he didn't go the blink, he went for the Solar Crest. He's got to be there. Like, the whole team just has to be there. Immersion gets caught diving forwards. If they just use Ravage Egg, it's an unlosable team fight, and now they've given away their lead. Still in an okay spot, but now the synergies of their cooldowns are off, which really sucks, because Immersion, he wants to egg, but he's not going to fight until Coil and Ravage are both up, so he'll just be hanging out.
4,000 net worth lead for ASMONACO GAMBIT went down to 2K after that team fight, but again, it's peaking back up. The power of this double hand of Midas for Dream and the fact that the other cores on ASMONACO GAMBIT do feel pretty comfortable farming some of these bits and pieces of the map without being threatened by Tundra too much.
Radiant's
Minor
bottom
criticism,
tower is under attack.
if you're watching, it might be on the other stream, but Ice Frog, why? Thank you, JJ. You're literally reading my mind. Why does Medusa
Radiant
have a
scanning.
15% evasion talent at level 10? Why is Terrorblades 16% at level 10? Like, what? Talisman of that is literally 1,300 gold of an item. Talisman of evasion, 15% for free at level 10.
Thank you, Scriff. Well, he's almost got the Aghanim Scepter, so he is going to be able to get really close to level 20 by the time he has that. So the Hand of Midas, in some ways, should pay off soon. And at that point in time, I feel like that's just kind of go time for Tundra, right? Then they will have hit a big team fight peak where the Medusa is going to stop scaling as well, but will be really powerful for the next 5 minutes.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
No?
You can see there. Oh, sorry, I was. Yeah, we got a fight coming up. No, we don't.
I don't think we do. I think they're just going to hold out around this tier 1 tower. All right, there's the Aghanim Scepter. There's the smoke.
Radiant's
4-man smoke up. They've got bots on 9, so he can join them in 6 seconds. As long as free play. He's just gonna shot here. What I expected from
Nature attend us.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
That's very slow, free kill. Okay, maybe it's not free at all. Maybe they're just gonna run out of damage. Maybe they can't kill him at all. Skater is at half of his mana pool already, and they couldn't even kill the 5 position enchantress.
What was that question you would ask, Cap? I didn't get a chance to address it. Now I've forgotten it.
I was gonna say that basically with the Aghanim Scepter, because he's not trying to scale with our Scotty as much. I feel like from this point to level 20, they're just gonna have to team fight a lot. 33 burned down by the sun ray. Looks like Spada doesn't even bother trying to go for the cold embrace, because what's the point? It's just a bunch of magic damage.
I think it's just that you recognize we're gonna have to team fight because ASMONACO GAMBIT are just gonna run at us. I love Ein, by the way. Like this man, or I guess this centaur lady. Double Fluffy hat treads Dragonlance.
It's a Dryad thing.
Okay, sure.
Middle tower has fallen.
He's deceptively tanky. He didn't even have level 2 untouchable. He was isolated as 5 heroes attacked him and cast a spell, but they still don't even kill him. And now they're stuck in Roche.
They've got 3 right-clicking cores. You know, like untouchable is godly good. Well, it may actually be a free Roshan. I was a little like, oh, it will really be, but once again, Ein is going to break the smoke, and once again, Ein is not going to die. Okay, maybe he will. Witcher's Curse. Soul Burst and goes out to his silent forward. He's latching over the ward off. That could be big, but he takes it, and he is going to be okay. He's able to get out. Is stunned up immediately by the defense. He's okay. He's inside the bubble, but at the same time, they can still just barely kill him. First life down of Lornoff, but they're going to chase after 9 here. They want this kill. They're going to be able to coil. Immediately breaks it. 9, though, has no BKB. No way to save himself from the damage of the puck, who now hits level 15, 12% spell amp, but apparently ASMONACO GAMBIT are not done being aggressive as they're going to smoke into the triangle here and see if they can find a little bit more.
Ooh.
Starting out, Sunray leading things off. Inkswell being given over to Skeeter so he can escape faster, but Snake King's life is forfeit.
Doing it right, and up top, you see Dream just pressing the tower. Now with a butterfly. I mean, the item, okay, so it's one of the higher stat items, right? So very good for giving clone damage. But typically when we see Arc Warden, you know, MKB is necessary against a Dusa that eventually, well, built-in evasion I think already makes it necessary, but can assume a butterfly will come out at some point. And Dusa is one of the better heroes at just straight up getting an MKB. That's what he's going to go for next. I'm not a fan of the item because you already have bubble, right? That's the evasion that's going to force MKBs already. So now you just make that item incredibly value instead of just like 9 out of 10 value. The Hex, the E-Blade. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Jumping forward once again, gunning for Ein. And once again, they're going to find their nukes aren't quite enough to be able to kill this Enchantress. And they're able to get out the heal, but they just took a little bit more, and finally the Stroke of Fate finishes them off. The rest of ASMONACO GAMBIT, though, are doing a good job each time of disengaging. Even if Ein does fall, ultimately he is the 5 position, and the rest of these heroes are happy just to dodge this fight. I mean, ASMONACO GAMBIT, I think they're very content with the state of the game. They're up 6,000 net worth right now. And they've got, as we talked about earlier, the superior 5-on-5 team fight.
Oh, yeah. But not forever. The BKB on 9. They're going to have one on 3-3 soon. No, just kidding. He's given up on it. He's like, you know what? I can't get any goddamn gold. There's heroes everywhere taking all the creeps. I'm just going to go Halberd. 9,
Nice jump forward, 33. They are going to be able to get the silence, so no Icarus dive emerging, getting caught in the front lines once again. The rest of ASMONACO GAMBIT backing away, and they can only accept these bleeding away these kills so many times.
I mean, they're still doing okay. I mean, just watching the carries net worth skyrocket is very entertaining. as they just leave the rest of their teams in the dust. Trouble is, I think Tundra's 2 cores probably function better without a net worth. 9, his job is going to be the BKB, run forward to the heavy link. This is one of the stranger games. Yeah, this is very off meta from the games we saw at the major. You typically,
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I guess Arc Warden is sort of in that TL, Terrorblade, Aga conversation, but typically wins games in a different position.
Alright, ASMONACO GAMBIT is going to smoke up here. Arc Warden does have the Wraith off cooldown here. I'm just barreling forward. Looking to be able to slow somebody down, but I don't think they can go for the Medusa first, especially the Medusa that now has level 20. And the Arc Warden can't be here. Reminder, there's no creeps nearby for him to be able to TP into, so I'm bit by bit is going to get poked to death here, and the rest of his team
respect the hustle,
to find an open.
That's the plan. I will check the high ground, team. Follow me. If the fight looks good, we're gonna kill them. If not, leave me behind, and I shall respawn to lead us forwards yet again.
A prize.
Very dramatic of him.
I'm listening into the comms, and it's actually exactly in that intonation. I like this decision from the puck, though. Lornoff, he's going to get the Lincolns up, so he really only fears Curse, Soulbind, and DK Tail, so theoretically should be comfortable outplaying his opponents if he does have that split second of immunity to the first spell. He's got to be cautious, though, when Active Halberd comes up, because N33 has a relatively instant cast way to proc Lincolns and land stun afterwards.
Once again, finding Immersion, who just cannot seem to help himself in playing the front lines here. Meanwhile, Fada, he can play the front lines because he's got an Eon disc. He will be coiled up here, snaps the coil, see if they can burst him down before he gets off anything. Phase shift to be sure he doesn't actually get off the Winter's Curse, but it does cause Afterlife his rundown as the BKB from 9. Static Link, and he just kind of runs a single core down. Not much Afterlife can do about that one, and not much Flame can do about his position either. Feels like Tundra is beginning to get some real momentum into this game, and ASMONACO GAMBIT is left with nothing but split pushing now.
I just don't know what they're doing, Cap. That's like the 3rd time a support's just died. The 2nd time Immersion actually has died on that hill, perhaps even on that same ward. Like,
yeah, no,
the team fight is insane. They just keep dying. Like, let Dream push the lanes. I don't know if you watched any replays of PSG LGD, Cap. I was talking with Fogged about it. The biggest thing that he took away from the way they dominated EG is if you watch it from EG's vision, they don't see anything ever. They are always off map. And meanwhile, you just have these supports showing in lane and running up high grounds with no teammates behind them.
Radiant's top tower.
Yeah, and it's not like Dream. We haven't seen them take a successful team fight in like 10 minutes, and there's no way they can take a team fight without Immersion. Like you said it best in that bottom lane fight, that was a bit of a disaster for Gambit. It's like you ravage and you egg, and that's a good team fight.
Now Tundra, like the game's gotten late enough that suddenly 9, even though he went for this very, not off meta, it's just, you know, bots BKB, he's very much in the game now. And even though he's so far behind Dream, if he just BKBs and links, he's giving his carry the win in that fight. Even talented for the static link damage steal, has +8 armor talent, level 20. Definitely feeling
this game definitely feels like Tundra, absolutely, despite like the big team fight potential presence, Tundra, just based off the execution, can clearly with these fights, they're going to be able to get on top of Dream once again, not chasing up into the high ground though. A bit of discipline there from Tundra as they try to stone case as well, but ASMONACO GAMBIT, they see their opportunity with cold out, they're going to go for 9 inside the coil for the break's going to be able to keep him lying a little bit longer, but they're going ravage, catching fire as well. Oh, the Winter's Curse gets immersion inside of that next to Dream. Turnaround there from Fada, but ultimately he is going to die, and Tundra is going to lose this fight. Oh, never mind. Phase shift again, and he's able to get out of that soulbind. Just isn't a threat whatsoever. Warnoff is Lincoln able to protect them a little bit more against the Dragon Tail. Afterlife staying on top of Skeeter, lowering the damage, and Dream is just putting in the work. I'm not even sure 33 can do anything to stop this. Skeeter will eventually die. 33 barrels on in. Hopefully be able to catch somebody and TP out, but it's not good enough. 9 with the buyback. He's going to be slowed down. He's going to be caught. Gush going up. Lornoff actually doesn't have coil for another 25 seconds, so maybe they won't be able to kill him. They don't have any stuns to keep him in place, but still a big one team fight for ASMONACO GAMBIT. Just as we were saying, they haven't won one in a while, and they finally do it.
Yep, I think we'll get the clip. That was so sick. That fight is won because of the reflexes of Lornoff. So 3-3 went for the play. Instant halberd into stun. You saw the Lincolns get procced, but it's enough of a warning that he gets the phase shift off, survives, and now Tundra have committed onto a hero, and they try to make a play that just won't go in. First off, they really don't have any business going in so deep. 9 got greedy. He had a huge link, but just too far. Immersion, once again, just kind of wandering forwards, gets picked off by the Winter's Curse. You're going to see that there, but that only buys them a little bit of time. Yeah, the game's chilling, so we can just keep going through the replay. Lornoff gets the 1 kill. You're going to see them, okay, Fada's done for. We're going to chase for more, and watch this. Halberd, boom, juke. And now Skeeter just
shift during Soulbind field.
Ah, come on, man. You got to give him some kind of escape. Grimstroke's already strong enough.
And then Skeeter's left with nothing but just fighting. We're going to head back into the game here pretty quick, and that will be Roshan being taken for ASMONACO GAMBIT, Chase for Afterlife, Aegis for Lornoff, and the Shard also going for Lornoff. So he gets the waiting rip. Once again, question from Tundra. He's going to die first, but the rest of the team is able to follow up here. But the problem is, they won't have Ravage just yet. They've already used the coil. Lornoff is going to lose his first life. If Supernova goes out, Skeeter pops the Stone Gaze in response. Tundra is going to reset. Not fight for Tundra whatsoever. All they do is and his courier. Oh, the run's going up for the big way. 33 gets out before the tentacles can catch him. 33 on the other side. He bops over in order to catch Utella with the Scotty. 33, he's dead. Skeeter, he's going to be run down underneath the tower. They know they've got to buy back. They've got to somehow save Skeeter from this disaster of a team fight, but it's not going to happen. Triple kill for Lornoff. He's going to run down. Look for the Ultra on Staking. There it is. He has it. 4 down on the side of Tundra, with a buyback from Staking as well. ASMONACO GAMBIT in full swing of things, and even maybe catching 9 now. His Flux slows him down. Wasn't able to get a Scotty hit, though, so 9's out.
Okay. Well, there's an Aghanim now on the box. That's going to change things up.
Dire's middle tower is under
attack. Gambit. I don't know if you call it outplaying. The fights are very strange. I'll be honest, Cap, on both sides. That is an impressive record from Dream, and really the reason that this team can play so confidently, because yeah, they may have made some mistakes, but only 1 death on the Arc Warden. It was, as you said, that I won't repeat what you said. It was very rude. But he did make a very silly play at the tier 1 earlier on in this game. Been pretty dominant since then. Now 30k net worth, and yeah, the BKB, he just straight up kills 3-3 by himself, who has fallen off the face of the map in terms of net worth. And shout out to the MVP, eyeing on the Enchantress, once again opening the engagement by running forwards into his own deck.
Yeah, seriously, ASMONACO GAMBIT, it feels like strategy-wise has just countered Tundra. It feels like their draft is easier to execute when it comes to these team fights, and then, as you say, individual tactics of online always making it so Tundra does not get the initiation they're looking for. They never get on top of Dream first, you know, and that is, well, shit, I was going to say it, but that is the dream, right? Is that he's just able to play the back line constantly. I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah, he's a real nightmare for Team Tundra. You got that right, Cat.
It's the ideal circumstance, right? Is that he is not the one that's being dragon-tailed or statically.
Totally agree. And he's just got so much gold now. 7,000 net worth. I do hope he spends his money.
Radiant
As the Titan
are
sliver
scanning.
to boot, and a DD now to be bottled by the puck.
Tempest double kill.
What he does best.
Hey, Ein, our boy. Hey, look at him.
Surprised you lasted this
I was
long.
reading an interview with him. There's only one piece of media from, and basically he's a huge Tokyo Ghoul fan, watches a ton of anime, and I think he's trying to employ that kind of strategy. You know, laying down his life for his brethren until he's respawned to the next
Tokyo
series.
Ghoul?
No.
Dire's bottom tower
I
is
know.
under attack.
I watched Matumba Man's retelling of it, and he may have left out
that
some
wasn't
details.
even the right anime. That was Attack on Titan.
Bounty.
I appreciate the effort, though. That was good. You actually went through an interview with one of the players. That's a nice. Did you take that from me?
Yeah. No, I found it myself. What is my trivia prediction?
Oh yeah, Tempest double kills. How many of them been killed by Tundra? I feel like not very many.
I'm gonna go with 4.
I'm gonna go with 1.
Definitely more than 1. Oh! Who's what? Come on. I've been counting.
Well done,
actually,
Kyle.
because I foresaw that trivia question, much like I foresaw an ASMONACO Gambit win, and they're on pace for it. There will be a BKB on Skeeter now, which should make things a little spookier, but the Puck Aghanims is already prepared.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Vlad's
attack.
on the Razor. This is to further input more damage into the Deuce's hands, because ultimately that is the strat for Tundra here. And 3-3, unfortunately. The decision to go Halberd, I think he regrets. It's nice as the Lincoln's break, but the lack of BKB has made his last few team fights pretty unplayable. Ein, look for him to make the move. Okay.
Look for him to run up that high ground.
He's gonna do it, Cap.
Nature
They
attend
know
us.
where Ein is, so they know they can smoke around him.
Yeah.
Oh, Ein has been countered. They're gonna loop all the way around here, get up on top of the high ground, and if they run into immersion, that would be ideal. They're gonna spawn in, they're going out on a setting. They do this, get the soul line with the Dragon Tail stun. A beautiful engagement to start things off for Tundra, but a buyback from immersion. They still want to take this team fight. Afterlife playing around this area, holding on to his Ravage, and now he's ready to re-engage if necessary. Abling sport, but Tundra have already backed away. Dream, another aggressive TP, but this time around, it's a great situation for him as he's got the BKB. The winner's curse going out, but the other one already using its BKB as well. Same on top of him with the ink swell, but now comes the Ravage. Catching the Medusa, catching 33 as well. Now they've got the Supernova on top, and too many targets. Tundra, they can't deal with this. And they're turned down underneath the fire and the flame to the Phoenix. It's the Ultra kill. That was a great box in by him, making up for the 20-minute play. And taking this game pretty handily.
Yeah, that was sick. I love the whole TP into the action. Much better with the BKB. Very effective in those last 2 huge team fights. Great buyback from Immersion. You know, not even for the egg. He Sunrayed fully, just keeping his Arc Warden alive. Then eggs for another Sunray. Then pops out of the egg and has another Sunray. So just not enough damage straight up for Team Tundra. The Razor last pick, perhaps not ideal. Oh, sorry, I forgot my shades. And ultimately, ASMONACO Gambit, they just if we ignore the first 30 minutes, a near flawless mid-late game execution.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think either way, shout out to ASMONACO Gambit for seeing the opportunity for a good Arc Warden game, as they haven't actually played this many times with
5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Ancient apparition.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Clockwork.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Invoker.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Tide Hunter.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Is popping off, then how about we try and do it? And maybe that was just like a little mini series thing. But I believe also Liquid today again played the CK
They did.
for Sumo. So yeah, maybe that's just kind of like a development of these kind of European teams at least.
You mean OG played it for Sumo? Yes. I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's tough. At least you didn't say Evil Geniuses picked it for Sumo.
No, that,
Tundra,
go on.
back to the draft, boys.
Sure. Take us back.
No,
Thank
Tundra, they're banning carry heroes. So I think that means they're going to pick
10
a carry in the second
remaining.
phase. I think one of the things about this Invoker hero is that
5
there
seconds
aren't
remaining.
many beats that are good versus him. Like they're banning out 2 of the ones that can sort of get away from that code snap earn combination.
Which one do you think will be the final one in this?
So they
regard?
ban?
Yeah, like is it like a Juggernaut or like
I mean, they're from second pick, so it definitely depends on what hero they want to pick. I'm not too sure what that is.
Radiant team pick.
Right now, they're lacking a little bit of damage. I'd say they have a lot of initiation and team fight control.
Dire
Oh, they actually
team
respect
pick.
ban the Arc Warden. Okay, that's fair.
Did they all go Deuce again?
Did they just yeah. Straight Deucer, yeah.
Okay. I mean, surely you pick Nyx Assassin, right?
Nyx vs Deuce is a bit weird because once you get the shard, when you mana burn her, you do give her back a lot of mana.
Yeah, but you
can
can carapace that also, right?
Yeah, but it's like it's not as hard to counter as it used to be.
5
I think they
seconds
still
remaining.
should probably go for something like that, but I feel like Deuce will also free farm versus Tide Nyx Assassin lane.
True.
I think if Gambit was to go the route, then I would warrant the Nyx and the Ags build that we see nowadays being a bigger reason. The fact that you can just fortify your high ground and it opens up for another win condition. The issue is with Tundra's bans, the Arc, the PL, these types of heroes, like what is really left in the instantly
Ursa
counter?
Diffusal.
That is true. That is technically one of the big lads, but it does get incredibly kited by Invoker and Clockwork.
I think Juggernaut and Ursa are the 2 heroes left in the pool that do match up pretty well versus Deuce. There is also that Slark. It is a better Slark game, but I haven't really seen that hero at all this patch. It's like that one game by Alliance versus OGD.
Could just be the anti-mage game.
Anti-mage.
They just pick up like a strong, stable wave clearing 4 that can play behind the tide, defend your towers. Tundra picks another like a
Radiant
non-stunning
team
hero. Bam! Anti-mage.
Yeah, it could definitely work.
They go for the Nyx. Okay.
Okay, well, it's sad times for Invoker, and then kind of sad times for Deuce.
It is overall a very solid Nyx game, and you have Invoker and Deuce. Clockwork is supposed to be good versus Nyx, but honestly, I feel like the Nyx Assassins, they build very tanky now,
10
right? Because they're going for the Egg
seconds
Inceptor.
And they're going double fluffy as well.
Exactly,
Around
yeah.
with the Tranks, yeah. It's pretty annoying.
5 seconds remaining.
So this is where Tundra has to be very careful because they are susceptible to, I still believe, this like kind of anti-mage style of pick from Gambit, and then just a massive wave clearing mid last pick for Lauren F.
Like in theory, the 2 supports on Gambit, they should make Dusa not a super carry, right? Because you know you'll remove any healing on the Dusa and you'll burn her mana.
Yeah, and also Medusa's hero likes to stand still in fights, and that's where Nyx with Ags burrowed, stunning from that kind of a distance, the Ice Blast. It's very easy to kind of mitigate a 4 protect 1 style.
Saw some success paired with Doom during the DPC. I know it was one of 33's most played heroes, but I think the Medusa took longer than I was hoping to get online in the previous game, and I'm sure the Midas build kind of contributes to that, and they will end up picking. What was that sound that I
A
heard?
Lion, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, Lion.
That means it's a 5 Clockwork. I think they decided that with the Nyx, you can match them up as 5 or some. It's very good in lane.
It gives them a little bit more lockdown at least, where now if they
10
go, for
seconds
example, this kind of anti-mage-esque lineup, the Lion can sit in the trees at a blink, play on the
5
reaction, he then
seconds
initiates the
remaining.
fight, everyone swarms in. So it does give them the split pushing aspect to counter into with the Lion Blink Dagger.
I do like their 2 with their mid hero with the supports this game. I think they have a lot of tempo over the map. Just anywhere a Clockwork Lion Invoker run, I think they should be able to make a move. It's a complete contrast to their last game.
For sure. Yeah, 100%. Tundra has gone back to the drawing board after game 1 and just kind of shifted their kind of ideas on how they want to approach Gambit.
No, Gambit gonna have to reveal one of their cores, mid laner or carry. I would guess that they need to pick up the carry because so many carries have been banned out. If you let another ban phase go through, I feel like you're not gonna get the answer against the Medusa that you want. I'm still on board with Ursa Diffusal. I think it would be pretty good.
I also wouldn't mind like a
Dire team
kind of
back.
mid kunker, another way of
Drowning.
just standing in front of your towers, and you just farm so nicely against Invoker, and then there's not enough damage really to eat through kind of the run buff. Wow, they go for a drow. Okay.
I saw this here in DPC. It was picked against Dusa. I think it was in Europe. I don't know what region it was, but it's a relatively common pick.
Radiant
You do
team
outscale Dusa in the end. But you are susceptible to being
Wait,
banned.
Drow outscales Dusa in the end?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Explain that.
Well, you hit her and she dies.
But why
From a
can't
distance.
Medusa hit you and you die?
Because Drow usually has more range.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess the main idea is when Drow gets a couple items and plays behind the tide, you're
5
instantly forcing
seconds
objectives
remaining.
a lot quicker. And I think Tundra demonstrated how they
team
played
back.
Medusa as well. So the development of Medusa playing for later levels puts kind of where Drow has 1-2 items and fights, Medusa's gone Midas Manta, waiting for another level, waiting for another item, then she's looking to fight. So it does kind of put a little bit more emphasis on Drow having an earlier entry into the game.
It's not a 100-0 matchup. I mean, Dusa
No.
does farm a
10
lot faster than
seconds
Drow. She
remaining.
might push out some more additional lane.
Radiant
If Dusa can get to
team
that item advantage, maybe even get like a blink at some point, you can sort of just blink on Drow and kill her. However, Drow's the type of hero where if you can hit your opponent's carry, generally you're going to outscale them because she just pumps out so much damage, it doesn't matter if you have this mana shield. And
Gambit banning out some offlaners, the Mars and the
10
Nature's Prophet.
seconds
Mars
remaining.
very much warranted because it's one of those big area control style heroes. If Gambit ever
5
looks to hit a
seconds
tower, Drow's the
remaining.
primary source of damage, and that alone simplifies any type of engagement. And I think Furin, in regards to like kind of laning phase,
Dire team
it's just a lot of overwhelming kind of presence on the map. And we've seen it, I believe, like how EG ran it at the majors, the idea that you're just kind of TPing around, hitting towers. Drow realistically wants to just AFK in the triangle for like 5-6 minutes, and that time you kind of lose a lot of map presence.
As for 33 heroes still remaining,
10 seconds remaining.
Kunkaban.
yeah, the Kunkka is a good ban by them. It's traditionally one of the
5 seconds
Volker
remaining.
counters because you can just X him and lock him down. Really good for AA as well, just setting that up.
I really want to see a Kunka in the game.
and Gambit looking for their mid laner now. Wants a Lorenov hero. Spirit's still in the pool. They go with
Ooh.
Razor.
All right, that's fair. I think right now Tundra has presented very much a 4 Protect 1. It's Medusa v the world. Invoker most likely going Quartz Wex. There's a lot of enabling, and that alone, if Razor locks onto Medusa, then your big
10
physical
seconds
damage dealer won't
remaining.
have any presence. And 33, his hero pool
5
is kind of
seconds
like
remaining.
what enabling offlane does. He's quite sacrificial so far, and that's why he needs to maybe try and find a little bit more impact in the game than being the sacrifice. Because if he goes for the 3.5 role that we've often seen him go for, then they might have issues in this game.
To be honest, I usually feel like Tundra does the best when 3-3 starts popping off. You get
Yeah,
to
no, exactly.
have his own items. He's sort of a carry from offlane player, but I think with the additional snaking, Tundra's sort of become a pretty greedy team. Like snaking's pretty high farm. I think your Skitter and 9 will always be your typical 1 and 2 farm, and 3-3. You can't really greed it up with snaking there as well.
He has a handful of options that I wouldn't mind seeing. He's got Darkseer, which would be nice with the Clockwork as a lane combination with Ion Shell. He's got the Brewmaster. You could just cyclone up the Razor.
Brewmaster sounds pretty cool. It's traditionally you can run into Drow. I mean, Drow has silence, but I can see that one working.
Well, speak of the devil.
There it is.
Good
Drunken
call.
Haze. It's not called Drunken Haze anymore, is it?
I thought I'd just clap just for fun.
It's something.
Applause.
Good job.
It's something. It's something good. I like the idea of the Brewmaster. Wait, so you were saying that the lane versus Drow Ranger, reasonable?
I think so. I think you just spam whatever the second spell's called, and
What is it called? It's not called Drunken
you
Haze.
just spam it, and then you stun them with line. I don't know hero names, spell names. I can't read, so it's not my fault.
Does a game of feel, sense, like if you talk about it here, it's like, yeah, it might kill me.
I mean, I know the stats on the spell. I just don't know what the spell's called. It's not really that relevant to playing.
But now, 33, they go for the Brewmaster. It is one of these kind of melee off lanes that will enable the Lion. And when he pops the ult, he can cut through and isolate the Drow to give them a way to take the fight. And also, I think realistically, Brew's main job, cyclone the Razor, get rid of that like you've already said. Remove that aspect, allow your Deucer to have his damage and take the fight into the game. And that's about it. But yeah, this is hopefully going to be a very close game as I now replicate Kyle's mic from day one again from moving very close to an object.
How are you feeling about this game, AUI? Which way you leaning?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think if Brewmaster is able to have a good lane, because the lane is a bit scary versus a Drow Ranger, then Tundra will, I think they should dominate this game. However, there's like a chance that this Drow just has a free lane, and she can ult-tempo the Tundra line. They are a bit low on damage until Medusa gets items, so if Razor gets that link off, it should be very hard for them to teamfight.
I guess the real question is how effective is, if Brew is starved, when he does get 6, how quickly does he connect the supports, maybe invade that jungle, kill off the Drow once or twice, offset the kind of the disparity of how Drow will have a good laning phase, Medusa might not, and then kind of the catch-up game. But yeah, it's hopefully a much closer game than game one.
I do want to see 9 and 3-3 connect. Every time the Brewmaster's on, I want either 3-3 to run to mid, or I want 9 to run to top, or even TP.
All right, let's see some synergy in this game number 2, Tundra versus Gambit. Take it away, Cap and Kyle.
Yes, hopefully we do get to see some synergy, and hopefully we'll get to see a little bit of Cinder Brew action. That's the second ability name that you guys were looking for. That's right. Really good call on the Brewmaster, though. I love to be able to see that. Our panel killed it, Kyle.
Yeah, they did. Always doing a great job out there. Really glad to see the 3-3 Brew. I think this hero is definitely underpicked. I expect it to come a little bit back into the meta as TI approaches, and I'm surprised it didn't really see any play at the major. We're hovering over just why. Like, the hero's built for the ultimate, and both the Shard and the Scepter are just insanely strong at the moment.
Last time Tundra did draft this Brewmaster was in the DPC against Team Secret, which they did manage to win that game. And then the 2 other times were Season 1 against Alliance. So they've picked it up a couple times, but not really recently. We didn't see a ton of it at the Animajor.
The big difference here is that they actually have a steroid for their Dusa. I think Alacrity actually just... It's an item, and later on in the game, it's 2 items. You just hand the Medusa. It's just so valuable to have. And I think Dusa, more than almost any other carry, really benefits from having damage steroids. Gyrocopter, as an example, is also spread damage, as is Luna, but I prefer them with supports that can add sustain, because their damage output typically isn't the issue. We'll see, though. I'm a big fan of Drow for many reasons. The armor ignoring on marksmanship procs, plus a silence, can be really devastating against Dusa. And more importantly, you're going to start dealing a ton of structure damage earlier in the game. So if the ASMONACO game, they learned anything from that last game, I want them to take earlier tier 1, specifically in mid. I think that'll really help them out.
That is something that AUI was kind of talking about. Oh, man. The top lane, they just first spiked and clapped the creep wave. They didn't hit Drow at all. So I guess this is part of their game plan. They want to shove the creep wave into the Drow as quick as possible. I don't know. It's a little weird. I don't totally understand how they're going to go for the pull. So
it's for the pull. They push and pull. I guess this is just the Tundra way. They want to get lane control. Makes sense. It's much easier to play into the Drow once you have acquired lane control. Maybe snaking in and go for the deny. Courier. Care.
Snaking should, in theory, tank the creep wave outside of the tower, but Nyx may not allow him to. No, he's going to pull right back in, so he'll get the creep equilibrium to their favor. We got the mid matchup of Loranoff versus 9 once again, with a Razor this time of Loranoff, and 9 is going to Invoker with an early level of the Egg Sword. I'm not sure if that's about Sunstrike or if that's about him just needing more damage to deal with.
That's a good point, Cap. I mean, no, it's just an Egg Sword Invoker then, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Which is a little surprising to me, because Quas Wex is very good against the Razor Tide. They have a great setup for it, both supports. My concern is that, as you can see, like, the laning phase isn't really favored for Egg Sword Invoker here. I think Quas Wex does much better than just hold snap EMP, drain the Razor.
Bada? Did he actually kill Ein here? No, probably not. Afterlife's going to be able to tank up some of the battery assault hits, so just a bit of damage, and just seeing how Gambit do respond. Do you agree with AY? Do you like the matchup of Drow versus Medusa? Because this matchup, in theory, was going to be a little bit different because of the Alacrity.
Yeah, this was my favorite thing, back in my day, EG, we're still picking Medusa for our TZ, and I think we only ever beat it with we beat it with Drow twice. That was like a different kind of Drow, but it's still the same concept. You just later on in the game you outrange. You're gonna get towers earlier, and you're the silence. I go back to the silence because Dusa, typically it's all about the stone gaze timing. And if you get her post Manta, it's such a long silence, you can almost completely prevent Stone Gaze. And marksmanship procs now very effective when you consider how high Medusa's base armor typically goes. And the fact that the hero never really buys any plus armor items.
No, certainly not. This is not a hero that wants to be able to go AC. Fada coming in early Sunstrike. That might be enough to be able to throw an Afterlife here. The helping hand from their mid laner allows them to be able to pick up first blood for Fada. Snaking, copping a bit of damage here. Dream out of mana, though, as a result. They do have the Impale going up, and they actually have this kill. Sneaking turned around, but is going to kill himself on the Spike Carapace. And now, score even up, 1-1.
Yep. So far, so good, really, I think, for both sides. But more, I think Tundra have a pretty huge advantage in this draft if it goes to 20-25 minutes, and they're still even. As long as Brew gets ult off, it's pretty game breaking because Razor 3 BKB just gets tossed up into the air, completely negated. Can do the same to the Tidehunter. And Invoker, especially with this Midas first item it appears for 9, like, you're just gonna outscale. I once again go back to Alacrity. That ability needs an
Dream getting very, very low. 33 looks to be able to run him down with the clap, and yeah, Dream knows he's dead, so he turns around and does as much damage as possible before he inevitably falls. And that's with the Creep Wave underneath tower too, so that's gonna hurt Dream quite a lot.
Yeah, this is not an ideal lane. Just getting ran at by the Brew, and 3-3 looking a lot more comfortable than he did the previous game on the DK.
Watch that one again. This early Exort Invoker, 2 Sunstrikes certainly helped out a lot when it comes to winning the lane. As we finish up this replay, we're going to go back inside the game where Leonov does manage to run down 9's Invokers. So at least the mid lane is now being won by AS.
Yep. Should be huge. It's to be expected, though, to be fair. Like, Invoker, you just don't win lane against Razor. He links you off cooldown. Has really nice chasing potential, as we just saw there. I'm going to watch it pretty much just high skill gameplay, link and chase.
33 in a bit of trouble here. It goes over Clap, waits for the Spike Carapace to be able to run around. That was very smart by 33, and as a result, will keep himself alive. Bottom lane, Afterlife, one more hit from Skeeter would do it, but they don't get it. Instead, it's Fada who dies, and Afterlife will healing salve up.
Man, yeah, nothing crazy going down. Still, I want to reiterate, this game for Razor is very difficult to carry. You need a BKB, otherwise you get tornadoed. However, you also kind of need to scale. So he went for the Treads build, just for early fighting. But it just feels like he's going to need to just take over. So maybe that's how it starts. Atrium, die.
Big dive at Skeeter. Hobbs tries to separate the two of them, but the damage is already done. Skeeter's easily going to get run down. If anything, Fada may die as well. Outside of the range of the plasma field, but they know where he is. And he's certainly not going to be hiding from Gambit for very long, as, again, and abilities on the side of Gambit, it's simply not possible for the Clockwork to do anything. 9 is pressuring mid lane in the meantime, though, with this.
We have not seen this in a long time. I feel like the last time I saw a true Exort Invoker was, remember that OG VP Finals 2017 Keith Major, where Miracle just went Treads drums and just pushed. It's still somewhat viable. We just always see Quas Wax. Brewmaster, hit 6, dead brow.
Yeah, he, maybe if he'd TP'd a little bit sooner, the animation would have prevented the Hurl Boulder from coming out from the Earth Panda fast enough, but sadly, he went a little bit late on that, so he's going to have to walk out.
Saw that. Lorenoff, as he TP's in, gives the bottle charge to his Nixus Assassin. It's negligible, but it's high skill. Please do that for your supports.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
If you guys can't tell, Kyle is currently playing pubs right now, and he's playing mid lane.
do that.
Really hitting on that point. He's going to show up though. Lornoff with a 2-man smoke thanks to immersion. He's going to be able to catch up to 33 here. Awkward little tree place to be, but at the same time, thanks to immersion, 33 is kept in place long enough.
Lornoff is playing his Razor as if he's on Puck. He's already ganked now both side lanes successfully. It's necessary. You look at his team's lineup. Tidehunter, Drow certainly aren't going to be making moves. I'm a little disappointed Ein hasn't been able to stack as much as I would have hoped. Only the one double on Ancients. I love having a bit more there because as soon as Tide's level 7, you just clear an Ancient stack at no threat. So if you can go up, yeah, he's going to do it. Get that up to 4 or 5, and that's pretty much a free Blink or Solar Crest, depending on the route Afterlife wants to go.
Afterlife is going to take a bit of damage here, but obviously a Clockwork at level 4 isn't much of a threat to it, especially since Ring of Health and a Cloak. Now he's got Hood complete. Well, that magic damage should never really be much of an issue.
I'll take that.
Dream going to start clearing through the triangle. Nine's doing similar here with his Evoker with a hand of minus early on. Feels like he's going to get to that point of Cataclysm. If they can get the right initiations, like Fada's gameplay is going to be huge. It's going to be hugely impactful to the Cataclysm. That is going to be inevitable.
I mean, that's like the Invoker play, right? You just, I think,
Dire
nice
structures are fortified.
He is stunned.
Version is going to come in, throws out. Oh no, he missed snaking. Still trying to burst him down. Does manage to with just the extra hit. Still though, because of the Hex, 9 is able to get away from Lornoff. Lornoff's just going to clear this creep wave and maybe put a bit of damage
Radiant's
on.
middle tower is under attack.
So against Nigma in the later phase of the tournament, teams just banned Invoker first 2. And I still don't understand what the counter to Cataclysm is, which almost certainly is what 9 will play for. I like this adaptation because of the aforementioned Alacrity, but also because, you know, it's a faster Midas hero. You know, Razor just kind of felt lost in the previous game. It's not like 9 played poorly, but he's a Razor. Like, what was he supposed to build that wins his team a game 40 minutes plus? This time, fast Midas, he is down to clown and just chill out. Farm jungle, he's gonna look to push mid now with the double forge and catapult. Somebody's gonna have to address this.
Dire's middle
It definitely feels like the shoe is on the other foot here as Lornoff has to be super aggressive now in this game. They're gonna be able to find the pickoff on Fada. ASMONACO Gambit as a whole, the aggressors throughout this.
Are fortified.
It's so tough though, like they're losing 2 towers.
Definitely doesn't feel good, and Dream is about to be gone on while they're going to go for immersion at the same time. Blocking men, nicely done by 33. The finger of death is good enough. Meanwhile, Dream did manage to get away from 9 due to a bit of a whiff there on the meat.
Radiant's bottom tower.
We'll get a tower and trade, but yeah, I think you have the right read where previously it felt like ASMONACO Gambit had a pretty big strategical edge. This time, I think Tundra are just chilling. You know, the Tidehunter will certainly be a problem, but this time the Brewmaster should give them an equalizer in the team fights. And
again, AUI did say that Drow outscales Medusa going later into the game, but we're kind of thinking because of the Cataclysm Invoker that the late game is. Sorry to interrupt you, Cap, but I guess Skeeter may have been watching some NA replays because this Midas Dusa rush 2 games in a row, this is straight out of the Eternal Envy playbook. I don't know any other carry who does this. He is going to get swept up here as another move from ASMONACO Gambit. They're trying to move Lornoff from side to side of the map as much as possible. So far, though, they're mostly just getting support killed.
What need have I for this?
He makes me so nervous, Cap. Because he always farms without mana shield on.
So if all of a sudden Nyx Assassin were to catch him...
He's just dead. There's no sentry there. If Nyx Assassin was just hunting him, he's just dead.
Death and gold are linked.
What? He knew it was on cooldown.
He's got the game read. Maybe immersion. I don't know. Maybe they actually showed the Vendetta in that gank up at top.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
just trying to be as efficient as humanly possible, as that's what he's doing with this Hand of Midas. Once again, trying to get that fast level 20 with the Aghanim Scepter, which will mean that team fight, and his other heroes are going to scale into the late game very nicely. Like, it looks like in some ways his two other cores are making sure they go late, and Skeeter is making sure that he's going to be able to play the mid game team fight. This next assassin immersion. Spike Carapace out. It's going to be able to hit the groove with follow-up intel. They're going to be able to roam over 9 here. Immersion, hookshot, actually keeping the two of them in place, but still, it should be a double kill. I wonder why Larnoff was scared of the clockwork. Well, either way, they do manage to get a good trade-off there. Evoker for Nyx.
I want to. Lorinov is playing about as well as you can ask for a Razor in this game. I think his item builds as well. We were discussing it. He needs a BKB, but how will he scale? Well, he has the BKB, and scaling, I guess, will just come down to winning every single fight from here on out. And I wish him luck. It is a tough challenge. Top net worth, but you know, against double Midas cores. Sorry, triple Midas. Oh my, that's not S4. That's 3-3. They have 3 Midases. So, when you see 3 Midases on one team and a BKB on the other, the game is very simple. Team with BKB must fight, must win all fights, must take Roche, must kill towers, and must utterly dominate. So they start off with a smoke, but they need core kills. This is a big ask. And he's going Midas next.
Sadly, they're moving to the wrong side of the map, as they do have this ward, so they're smoking to their vision. They're going to smoke into the triangle, knowing they can get onto the high ground. And now they're going to wrap inwards here. Problem is, mid-tier 1 tower is still up. A successful scan and the clockwork flare should show that Tundra, ASMONACO GAMBIT is smoked up here. So they're going to actually do smoke on the side of Tundra themselves, get themselves positioned onto the triangle as well, and we'll see what comes of this mirrored situation.
I mean, I'll just tell you, Cap, if they don't get this mid tower with this push, it'll take a little while, but Tundra are gonna walk through. Like, they are not going to take any fight that isn't on their terms, and they have brew split. So, worst case scenario, they'll likely just create a spot.
Oh, look at that. That's so smart. 33 pulls the creep. You said they have to be able to take this mid tower with this push, and 33 recognizing that pulls the creep wave down the river. And hopefully somebody with a Midas will show up and just kill the siege wagon, or he'll just keep it out of that tier 1 tower range entirely.
Oh, that would be so sick. If he drags the wave to his invoker to the Midas on the siege wagon.
Yeah.
That would be insane.
Midas coming up. Oh,
got aggroed over. Skeeter, he's losing efficiency. They don't have enough creeps in the jungle to Midas properly. Okay, grab one from the hard camp. Where did Invoker use his Midas? Also on that same hard camp. Okay. That's really good teamwork from the side of Tundra.
And it definitely feels like Tundra, they made a read after game 1. They're saying like, okay, ASMONACO GAMBIT looks best if the pressure is not put on them to make plays. There's the Hand of Midas on a siege wagon. Oh. Hey, that's the value of Hand of Midas's. Immersion going to be caught as we jump back inside the game. They're going to be able to get the shot into Cogs. A free kill for sure, but Lorinov is going to be able to follow this up. Already getting a kill on the snake show. Cogs going to fall right behind him. Double kill for Lorinov.
So this is the kind of game where young squads like ASMONACO GAMBIT struggle.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
You're playing against a team that is not interested in combat. It's shenanigans and skill. So to close this, it's sort of like when you play against Tinker in a way. You need to play aggressively but with balance, because when you're going into a brew specifically, you can't dive too deep. Lorinov has to be really cautious about aggressive uses of the BKB, because if he dives in too long, like he's hooked, there's a line with Finger, brew split could isolate him from his team. It's a very tough game, and his mid tower is not taking damage, Cap.
Incoming! Do you think he has the right idea? Like you said, with balance, right? And part of the balance is making sure that you do scale the late game. So in a way, it means his hand minus. It looks kind of funky, but it may be just exactly what he needs, right? It's spot action die here from.
Another try.
Yeah. He missed the hook shot on his allies.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
He's the ally.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
100%.
So yeah, do you agree with this hand minus for the Razor?
I don't mind it because I don't know what else you can really get as a scaling item for Razor, right? Clearing creeps faster. You're not a Maelstrom hero. You're a Radiance hero. So if you're just trying to hard scale, Midas is really your best option.
And because of his maxed out plasma field, as said, he's been top net worth for most of the game. Farming neutral creeps really efficiently, playing off map constantly, which makes his rotation a little bit more effective as well, because he's always off map when it comes to Tundra. Now he's got that hand of Midas, picking up items as well.
And like, think about what he would buy, right? If he buys a Yasha, I think they might just lose. Like, how does Yasha help him more than this Midas? Yeah, it's a negligible advantage with a little bit of move speed, sure, but you want to have scaling power. The BKB was the key item, and it's why Tundra are afraid to fight.
I know we're talking about it a lot, but I do want to say I think it's impressive that Lorinoff, as a player who doesn't have like a huge wealth of competitive experience, is able to think enough outside of the box and recognize what the actual missions of this are. So I think this, like, it goes to show a bit of sophistication.
Yes, definitely. I mean, Lorinoff, I'm with FNG. I think this guy's the real deal. He shined at the major, and so far he's been the player in this series that I think has made the fewest mistakes. It's just only close.
I'm clicking around on heroes, making sure. Yep, no, there's definitely nobody with a smoke.
No, they're just chilling.
They're 5 men together. I think a smoke. Is it coming?
No, you
no.
You don't need to smoke, Cap. You just defend your side of the river. It's siege warfare. If you've got time, I expect you do have time before the next team fight. Go pull out one of your history books, specifically 900 to 1100 AD in the pre-English era.
Mm-hmm. And we're just learn about siege warfare.
Yes.
You're saying?
If you've studied the history of ancient cities like Wessex, you will better understand the makeup of this game.
Okay, so in the Tundra versus ASMONACO GAMBIT, who's the catapult and who's the trebuchet?
That I don't know, but in this case, it would be ASMONACO representing the Danes and Tundra as the amalgamation of the English trying to defend their homeland.
Radiant's hook shot is equally as hard to hit on enemies. Vada unable to grab immersion there, but maybe they can still catch Afterlife. They're really far out here. It does manage to blink Hex. And yeah, this is going to be a dead Tide Hunter, though it's going to take a bit. Maybe too much. Ravage! His allies aren't here yet, but they're going to turn around and kill Afterlife pretty easy. Okay, never mind. He's able to walk away. He actually forced out a BKB of 9. I can't tell if that was the smartest play I've seen from the series or that was just a bit of good luck. Either way, Fine is going to be the one left behind there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Afterlife just ravaged and got out. Okay.
All right, and I love that Lorinoff. He unfortunately, blue splits, he gets chucked up into the air. As he comes down, he panics a little bit. He did have a ward, but fearing an instant stun, just pops BKB TP's base. So they used all spells, got nothing, lost an AA. We'll call that a draw for both sides.
New treasures.
A weird situation to be sure, just because the entire game state seems to be both teams kind of okay with this game stretching out. Obviously, 3 minuses on the side of Tundra.
What a scan. He scanned that, so he'll survive. He was walking straight into death, snaking with the fresh blink, and 3-3, because the Agnibs will have his ult up again.
Yeah, that was actually a really smart read, knowing that his BKB was on cooldown. An aggressive smoke gank like that would have been...
Yeah, it would have been impactful. That's some next level, because he could have assumed that Snaking was also buying a Midas, but he had the blink. He was ready for that initiation.
Hookshot just barely off the mark there for immersion. We'll call that unlucky. The 13, 23 minutes in, 4-staff soon for immersion. What are our Midases? Tundra. Blink Dagger soon for 33. After his Aghanim Scepter, Ags coming up next for 9. That'll be the big power spike for Tundra. That's why they're just content with chilling out.
I was gonna say, we haven't even commented on Dream. He's just been chilling. 0, 2, and 1. It's all vibes right now. Lorinoff involved in 10 out of the 13. Ein also playing a solid game. But
you know, that phrase never makes sense. Vibes. There are lots of different vibes.
Vibes is just
it's chill vibe.
Okay, sure. Vibes are, you know how, who would you say, give me like an example, Cap, of a really close friend who you feel like you know just spend time with?
You want me to say you?
Cap? No, just you can say whoever you want. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but vibes are just,
Kyle,
you invite over, you just invite, it's a person that's just like, hey, what you doing? Nothing. You want to come over? Okay, sure. And maybe you just chill on the couch and don't talk, right? But it's vibes. It's good stuff. And that stream playing this game. Now they're into Roche. They've got a lot of minus armor and the Ravage threat with 3/3s on his way. I don't think they're in time.
Yeah, it's going down fast. There goes the flare, but unfortunately, Tundra may be a bit late to this one, and Roshan's dead before they can get there. And now, Tundra needs to decide whether or not they're going to fight into the ages.
May the drow keep you safe.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Now that at least they get control of the triangle and an advantage, so from Tundra's perspective, if they weren't trying to fight 5 minutes ago, I don't think they'll want to fight for another 5 minutes. They're closing on the Aghanims on 9. He has his BKB already, so they're approaching just like the I win button phase of the game, where they pop split, Cataclysm, hook, Lion stun, and theoretically kill everyone.
To be fair, you said, like, I don't know how to counter Cataclysm. The only real way is Force, right? And if you look at the side of ASMONACO GAMBIT, literally 4 of them have Force stats.
Are fortified.
That's a great point. That is the counter to Cataclysm.
As long as you don't get caught by some, like, really big stun, but they don't have, like, Tidehunter wrap. Disable everybody from being able to get on Force stats.
That's actually a really good point, Cap, because the Force Staff's obviously the best answer to Clockwork. But something that made, I think we were casting it, we were raged a bit because VP, when they were playing Nigma, if I'm not mistaken, it was mind control on the axe. And anytime he taunted somebody, there'd be a Cataclysm. And VP had 0 Force Staff, like absolutely 0. And you're correct, like, you've got plenty of time to displace your ally, and theoretically, ASMONACO GAMBIT should be able to outspace in the engagement, but the fear is just how will they deal with the 33 Brewster? Do you think they'll have the damage to kill the Brewlings post-split?
I don't know. How does... so the Brewlings should disable marksmanship.
Yes,
so I
the Earth
feel
Spirit
like
does.
Yeah, so I feel like you're gonna have a hard time being able to kill them without marksmanship. And like it's not like they have this really fast comes in like Tidehunter and Razor, you know, they Tide doesn't put in a huge immense amount of damage, maybe once if it gets better, but and then Razor's so single target that the multiple Brewlings it's hard to just kill all of them. Plus he can always just
I'm dead.
Bring it back whenever he wants. Scepter.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I don't actually know if Earth Panda, because Earth Panda carries the auras, but I'm not sure if it counts as the hero unit that would disable marksmanship. And I can't find it on either hero's wiki page. So
I'm gonna go ahead and say at least the Earth Panda does. Marksmanship, is it only disabled by hero and like creep hero units?
Well, that's the thing, because it's not disabled by bear. It's only heroes.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's enemy hero within 400 range. So traditionally, Drow late game has been a counter to the Brew.
Another trial.
Because you just deal so much physical damage. And if you're able to go toe-to-toe with an Earth Panda and not lose marksmanship, I think that's pretty strong, right?
Yeah. Now, there is still the problem that he is going to have to be BKB'd. Otherwise, he's just going to get... Right. In most of these fights, they just toss him up in the air and go for everybody else.
Other reason I think that the marksmanship is so good against Dusa is that the procs don't miss. So it's a straight up counter to the evasion talent in a way. Cuts it in half.
Okay. Yeah.
And in addition, very good against potential butterfly.
And there's just more late game options for Drow than there ever has been. You could get the Aghanim Scepter at some point in time. I think the Shard is actually a nice build-up when you get like Scotty and then the Shard. You've got this like double stacking slow that it puts on these heroes. So, trivia time. How many Medusa illusions have been killed so far?
I'm gonna go with... You go first this time.
They don't have anything that instantly kills illusion. So again, I'm gonna say not very many. I'm gonna go like... I don't know, they just haven't been running into each other, so I'll say like 5. I'll say 5.
I'm gonna go with 7.
13! Oh my god, we were...
I mean,
add our number together. We almost hit it. I feel like they just haven't been running into each other at all. It's literally just been a bit of a farming game.
Wait,
I would have thought like 13 if they had like a lion or something that instantly kills illusion.
Can we get a quick check on the Midas cooldowns while we're paused? Okay, so 84 seconds.
Peter has his off cooldown.
He's got to use it on the catapults to get the timing closer with his invoker.
Yeah,
or do you just kill it?
He's trying to do.
And Midas something else.
No, you definitely need it. Catapult is pretty decent experience, if I remember.
Okay, that's a good point. He's trying to get that level 20
He's trying to get level 20.
Okay. Let's see.
A catapult is worth 88 experience. So, like, not as much as being able to kill, like, a hard camp creep, but considering the fact that there's no other creeps nearby, he definitely wants it.
So, thank you. Oh man, is this Scriff? It's probably Scriff because JJ never puts in enough effort to his observing, if you ask me. But Scriff's always A+.
Jesus Christ! Shout out to both of our observers, JJ as well as Scriff. They have done a wonderful job.
JJ's got 4 monitors. He still misses first blood.
And Kyle is just giving his friends a bit of shit. He loves both of them very much. Please, viewers, do not take Kyle seriously. You don't take his analysis seriously, so don't also comments about wonderful.
And while we've got a pause as well, just a quick shout out to all our VIPs. I see Gunner Dota, Coddle Guy, got Fogged in here, Lyrical, Moxie, Nomad, Knoxville, Shiver Gaming, Queen herself, taking some time out of her day to grace us with her presence. Thank you, Sheev. I carried her earlier today as Bristleback.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Left me out?
We invited you and you said no.
It's a lie. I wasn't around.
Bro,
I wasn't on
I emailed you myself. Check your inbox. It's 100% there.
Hold up. I'm getting on my email right now.
Okay, don't you? I didn't do it. I didn't think you were
Yeah.
We got Quinn Dota. Shout out to the Quincy crew guys. Still in key. Let me know. Well, I would say let me know if you want to hang out, but you know, that's a 2020 play. Not anymore.
If you guys are just now tuning into this tournament, you're wondering what this is. This is indeed not the major. That is over. This is the ESL One Summer. And we have a combination of mostly European teams, but we've actually got some teams that have stayed over from the major, such as the Southeast Asian team T1 that did very well at the major. They're here. Quincy Crew stayed over in Europe as well, so they are here. And right now, the current field looks like in the upper bracket, Virtus Pro managed to take down OG. They're going to match up against Alliance in upper bracket semifinal. Alliance managed to beat Team Secret. Meanwhile, Team 1 versus Quincy Crew is going to be happening tomorrow. That is a hype matchup. We managed to get a rematch of the upper bracket of the major. And then right now in the lower bracket, if you missed it, the last series we saw both Secret and Liquid take an early departure from this tournament. And right now we're trying to see who else is going to be leading ESL One Summer. Right now, Tundra needs to be able to claim this win. Otherwise, they're going to be eliminated. And then on the B stream, we also have GG versus Team Unique. So be sure to check that as well.
Okay. Quick, sorry, I didn't say oh no. I'm actually very excited that Quincy and T1 are still here. But I thought Lornoff, he got me. He said 5 more minutes, guys, but he was lying. Also, the reporter in the field has gotten back to me. The Earth Panda does disable marksmanship, but it doesn't disable PA blur. Why? Well, I don't know.
Weird.
But that's how it works.
What? Who got that for you? Who tested that?
I cannot reveal my sources.
You can't reveal your sources? Seriously?
Just in case
I feel like you're
wrong.
just depriving somebody of credit for their work. $1,000 network lead for Tundra, and as it stands right now, we may not. Okay, no. There's definitely going to be play here. Dream is about. I was going to say he's about to die, but 9 is running away, so maybe they're not.
No,
I guess because he has an Aegis, risk getting caught.
Well. Not doing anything seems to be the name of this game. 3-3 has had an Agonins for what, 15 minutes now? I don't think he's used the second split.
Yeah.
And he's being hunted.
Kind of, yeah. At the same time, Fada is right behind him, leading off with the impale. Before Dream is there, he might be able to catch Fada instead, though, bouncing off of the conch with the spike carapace active. Cute little move by Immersion.
I dig Lornoff's build, by the way. His net worth, you can see why he went for the network, right? Because even with its second item and 604, he's still fallen to 4th net worth just because of the nature of his hero. But I think the Blink is the way to play this. He wants to get right on top of the Dusa or the Invoker, Link BKB. And entering the fight is the difficulty. You have to deal with potential Blink initiation, the Clock Hooks, the Brew Tornado. Now he's able to get optimum positioning and then just pop BKB.
Trying to sandwich Tundra right now, but they do just barely dodge the slammer here. Moving up the side lanes, the Ice Blast getting thrown out to see if they can find anybody behind this tier 1 tower. Dream has just decided it's time to use this Aegis as aggressively as possible, as they're going to be able to backdoor this tier 1 tower. And they still have their Razor pushing down the mid lane. Emerging looking for an opening, does manage to find it onto Snake. He gets bursted down almost immediately. A buyback coming out from him. 4-staff, double 4-staff, getting Version out of harm's way. And the rest of the ASMONACO Gambit just regrouping now high ground.
I feel like this is one of those games that the first fight kind of decides everything. Wouldn't be surprised to see buybacks thrown at it. Dream would really like to finish his Scotty before things get ugly, though, as would Skeeter with his Daedalus.
He's got it now, just finds it out. Courier was already in place on the secret shop, so he's going to have it before this next team fight happens. How much longer in the Aegis? 10 seconds. So count on Tundra if they want to take the fight to force an initiation real soon here. 33, looking to be able to dodge this out. Follow-up hook shot straight up onto. There comes the Cataclysm. The 4-staff does manage to get away, but he's in deeper doo-doo now. His Dream pops Manta, BKB, TP out. The physical damage, though, is too much. He dies before the TP can complete ASMONACO Gambit. They were a little bit too bold in their positioning, and Tundra punished them quite so.
Well, what?
Dire are scanning.
Kyle, you've been real
Dire's middle
confused
tower
today.
is under attack.
Well, I'm just looking at the alacrity. An 82 attack speed, 94 damage is pretty much what's going to give Skeeter the edge here as this game continues.
Dyer's
Now with the
middle
Daedalus,
tower
I love
has
that
fallen.
decision because you don't really fear a butterfly, but whenever you get so much steroid in terms of the DPS, Daedalus just becomes such an insane item. So it feels like he's 2 items ahead, even though it's just 2,000 gold over the Drow. No clue what Gambit were doing in that position with Drow, their most forward hero. He just got hooked into Cataclysm, though. They didn't have time to wait for him to spin around, so he has to be forced away from the Cataclysm. But it's into the waiting arms of Skeeter's Rooster. 3-3.
Oh, 33, almost getting spotted out there by the plasma field, but never mind, the Nyx is actually just able to read that positioning. He does the gem, but look at the Finalizing go. He's able to pop his ultimate and should be able to get away from here. He's going to turn around, throw the pandas at them, but of course he can always use split cancel to jump onto the storm pandas. It's not like he's putting him... As long as he actually hits the button, which he does. I've seen Brewmasters forget
Dire's
to hit the
top
button,
tower is
in
under
which case
attack.
you automatically go back to the earth. Be careful.
Dire's structures are fortified.
6k gold lead. Tundra putting on a clinic. How to win a game without having to risk losing a fight. And I don't think they're afraid
Radiant
of a
are
fight.
scanning.
They're just not in a hurry. Great positioning for them right now.
The scan is going to go off. They know heroes are here. Medusa, they're going to set up. Okay, killing fire first. That's going to be an easy one. But the bigger initiation is going to be around this time under the Cataclysm. 4 snapping away. 0 damage really being done to the 2 frontline heroes. Pine cops one of them, but ultimately it's 2 support pink offs for ASMONACO GAMBIT.
Cap.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I don't know. I went for a walk earlier. I was playing Pokemon Go. I captured a Psyduck, and I haven't really recovered since. Because right now, all
You're in
I
a
can...
constant state of confusion? Is that what you're saying, Kyle?
Correct. And I don't... I'm not getting the right rolls to remove
Radiant's
it.
middle tower
Tundra,
is under attack.
I believe if they just plant their Medusa between enemy heroes...
Radiant
and
structures are fortified.
they just take a fight. This is their time to go, you would think. Roshan is going to spawn in 3 seconds, and ASMONACO Gambit, they're going to see it pop. There it is, and they're going to say, oh, ding, ding, ding. We got to go for this. Who would take the shard?
My bet is Drow Ranger, because, like I said, I already think that shard's pretty good.
That's really, no, you're right. That's probably the move.
Confusion could be healed by switching out the confused Kyle. Can we get a co-caster to switch out with Kyle?
JJ,
too confused
I
right
said
now.
I'm sorry. What? How long did you have that ready? Did he know about bitter berries?
Holy shit! Oh, what a pick-off! That was a massive one. Shout out to Brown there for being able to have the ice blast in the right position to reveal. Now they're going to be able to catch. Okay, that's not good. Life number 1 of the Drow got BKB on the second one, so should be able to TP away. Cataclysm. Okay, it's not enough. It's not enough. He's good. They're trying to catch more heroes, so 33 looking to be able to tornado. Somebody just comes off cooldown. If he spots emerging, he can get him, runs past him. Oh no! Misses out on both the support kills.
Coming mid now, but they're a bit late. And Tundra, they're playing a little sluggish today. I feel like part of it's going to be, of course, we're in the summer months, record highs. This team
Radiant's
seems to be
bottom
better
tower
suited
is
for
under attack.
winter weather.
Bounty! What's that layer of frost in the tundra that rarely melts until, yes, the permafrost. Permafrost layer is coming down in summer. Mosquitoes are down and
Gonna have a blue ocean event in the Arctic by the end of this decade. Very exciting times ahead for humanity. I'm personally very excited.
All Alright, BKB for the Medusa. Thought ASMONACO GAMBIT was going to go for a smoke. Afterlife has a Boots of Travel as well. Both of these teams are just itemizing. You know what, screw it. This game's going to go to like 60 minutes. So everyone needs a scaling item, it seems. Yeah. 60 minutes. That's my prediction.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
72 seconds.
Okay, they're starting this one off. And you have Shiva's looking to be able to slow heroes down, but Hookshot does land first on it. They're going to be able to get the push back onto Lorna. Four staffs getting around. Nice Ravage, the 1 to 3. Unfortunately, Lorna only just now showing up. Will manage to kill the support. 9, not able to get away either. And look at that. Dream going to war. Skeeter demolishes the carry. Now he's going to go for 33's Brewlings as well. Fortunately, Storm Panda is away. And once again, Kyle is confused.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
You just
Radiant's middle tower.
talking about BKB. Both he and Skeeter have died without buyback and with BKBs off cooldown. And if ASMONACO GAMBIT get a read on this, they might, because they can't go top for megas. They can just go for the win. They can legitimately go for drone bait.
Under attack.
They're pinging it. Yeah, go for the win.
I think they're waiting for the rest of the team to maybe show up, make sure they've got everybody. Ancient Apparition just about to come back up, so they will have the Ice Blast for this push.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Find the death
Find a way. Oh, he's getting the death. So you're right, Kyle. He's got the minus armor. I think this is just over. 33. He's going to have to find a way to be able to stall them. He actually does have the shard here with a Void Brewling. They're going to go for the Drown Ranger first. If they can actually kill the Drown, be nice. Trying to chase them as much as possible. It's being followed up. So they have the Finger of Death. They do have the Finger. They're going to throw it up. Is that going to be enough to kill the Drown Ranger? PKB being popped, turning around, and trying to deal with the Brewlings, but the physical damage is quite overwhelming. Thought of getting in front of him, but gets demolished instantly by the multi-shot. Still, though, Dream is going to have to back away. It's going to TP out. ASMONACO GAMBIT could have continued their assault, but decide against it. Wait, so who's the cheese? I don't see cheese.
Somebody wants to use it, Cap.
Okay.
So, for Tundra to win the next fight, it's going to be imperative that they use their abilities, Cap. The BKB,
Radiant
very important item. Stone Gate is also a critical ability to use. Now, they've had a lot of time to prepare, so I'm hoping they'll have that respawn window, they'll have regrouped. Still very much in this game. Yes, they lose a tier 4 in a Rax, but ultimately, I think that's better than losing 2 racks. I applaud the decision to go Throne. I think maybe ASMONACO GAMBIT go a little earlier. They also are missing a Solar Crest, so no real damage amp for their Drow either. Now waiting for the Ravage to come off cooldown. He's getting a Shard. That is an item that works on buildings after that. And plus 90 damage.
I think
very
this
underrated.
is an underrated Shard, for sure.
100%
I think it's amazing. Manta's pushing forward once again. Tundra is looking to take a fight on the triangle around this observer ward. They have it a high ground. Let's see if Dream gets caught in the same situation twice. No, he won't. He got a flicker, so that's going to help out a lot in this, I think.
Set up.
Approach, trying to deal with the ward. This time they put Afterlife on the front lines. Replace a ward with one of their own.
Right under the vision is 9, though. He's got to be careful. He's the one hero on his team without buyback.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Razor's showing himself, but the rest of the team is going to smoke forward. And they may be able to catch 33 here. 33 going for a TPL. They're not going to see him in time. Way.
Nice job.
He was here somewhere, but
yeah, I like the items. You know, Eon Disc on the Brew, one on the Nyx Assassin as well. Now a nice lead for ASMONACO GAMBIT. Tundra have retreated, no longer content with their side of the map. They will now wait within their base, venturing out, though this could be risky. Skeeter, they have no detection down.
He does have a buy buyback, but Snaking is going to follow him. Oh, look at this blink forward from Lorna. He is being aggressive right now. Pop the disc on 33. He's going to go for his ultimate, but Ryan is going to die as well here. 3 heroes dead. All of them have buyback, but ASMONACO GAMBIT very likely to force it out of them at this point. 33. 33. He's not going to be able to get this off. He thinks he was stormed out of safe. He instantly finds back. The road is exposed. They have to buy back now. They've got to get in front of this first tornado going out. 3-man stun. Not looking to be able to follow that up with good cause to be able to catch just time. Cataclysm goes out. The Dream is already getting away. Flicker forward, getting farther out. Lornoff giving him a little bit of helping hand. Push forward. BKB up in 5 seconds. Afterlife is going to be left behind inside of the base. As I've said this before, but I believe this time around there really is no escape. It's a courier kill before he dies. Meanwhile, Dream jumps forward in the triangle, kills Snake King, and then gets his way back out. Very, very nice there from Dream. And ASMONACO GAMBIT feeling good now to put Tundra in the end game.
Sure. What's Skeeter doing, Cap? he's just standing in the middle of the lane. And there's a Nyx assassin who stuns him, and there's no save. He doesn't have any on disc. There's no counter initiation or save for that Ravage. So Afterlife just says, okay, I guess this works. And they open up on him. And we'll see. Oh, beautiful. Afterlife gets the courier before he goes down. That's 125 gold each to his teammates. That's a true warrior. The watermelon may have bursted, but there's nothing I wasn't going to. He got the courier at the end.
He got the chip. I don't know where you were going with that one, Kyle.
Walla way.
Oh, we're waiting for Roshan now. Minute 45. ASMONACO GAMBIT. They're gonna force Tundra to come outside of their base and take one final engagement in which they will not have, or Tundra's going to have to freely give up Roshan, which is going to include an Scepter, Refresher, like the whole kit and caboodle is going to.
Okay, so a couple things, Cap. First off, the Eon disc is now being built on Skeeter, so that won't happen again. In addition, I just realized ASMONACO GAMBIT. Perhaps, I don't know if you've heard of this ASMR thing. It's all the meta now on Twitch. I believe they may be lulling Skeeter into a false sense of
Erosion Ravage going out. The Impale is Skeeter forced out, trying to get him out of here. He's just dead, gone for 2 minutes. ASMONACO GAMBIT were not going to wait for Roshan. They saw the opportunity to end the game, and that's a call GG. ASMONACO GAMBIT 2-0 Tundra, knocking them out of the tournament.
Dire victory.
This would have been a great idea. It was not completed in time, but either way, what a match from ASMONACO GAMBIT. And shout out to Lornoff. What a legend. Like, I cannot believe how well he just played this game. He ends 15-0-9 with the ideal Razor late game items. This kid's unbelievable. I cannot believe they just won this game.
Yeah, seriously. Just an amazing performance by him and by ASMONACO as a whole. It felt like they just, both Game 1 and Game 2 were very calm about their approach to the game. We were talking about, like, okay, 3 Midases, they're gonna scale really hard on Tundra.